Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's Boy Davan here, and I just got home from locals, and I ended up getting top 4. I ended up 3rd place after Swiss, and it was pretty late, so we all just split the end because, the tournament's supposed to start at 6, and it didn't end up starting until almost 7 because so many people were like, oh, my friend's on the way, and blah, blah, blah. And this is the free tournament, so it's supposed to be like non-competitive as possible, but a lot of guys still bring like their best decks and stuff like that. But yeah, anyways, I played ABCs again. It's pretty much the same deck that I was playing, that I profiled earlier. Did make a couple of changes. I'm going to show the sideboard for this one, because I'm going to show what I played today. But yeah, I'm really glad that the guy who got tops at the YCS was playing the same ratio as I was of the ABCs, which is 2A, 3B, and 2C, because I think this is the best ratio. I think B is too important to only play 2 of it, and there's just a bunch of times where you need that one more monster or that one more card to get you to where you need to go. Then I'm playing 2 gold gadget and 2 silver gadget. They're just really good cards, floaters, just help out the deck a lot. Then for the last monsters, I'm playing 1 Dark Worm and 1 Destrudel, just to help you make Ancient Fairy Dragon, which is really good in this deck. I'm not playing any hand traps, because the only ones I have is Veiler and Ghost Ogre. And I didn't like main decking Ghost Ogre, especially going to a locals where you never know where you're going to play. And Veiler, I just didn't think it was going to be any good, so I decided not to play any. That's it for the monsters. For the spells, I'm playing, of course, triple terraforming, and I added in 1 set rotation. I saw the dude from the YCS was playing this card, and it still works out really well. It did stop evenly matched once, which was pretty cool. Then 3 Union Hanger, of course, and only 1 Dragon's Ravine. I was kind of, debating between Dragon's Ravine and Dragon Shrine. But I decided to play Dragon's Ravine because you can search it out with Terraforming. You can search it out with Set Rotation. You can search it out with Ancient Fairy Dragon. There's just so many more ways to get to it. And it's just a really good card and you need it. 2 Pot of Desires. Never did I ever Pot of Desires like all the pieces away, so I wasn't able to make Buster anymore. That never happened to me today, but it has happened before, so I'm not going to say never. Then 2 Called by the Grave. This card is just freaking nuts. Even against like non-hand trap decks, against something like zombies and against the Lightsworns, it's just a really, really good card. I'll get into the matchups later. 2 Cosmic Cyclone, because I think it's better than Twin Twisters in this deck. Reborn, because you can reborn Buster Dragon. 1 Foolish Burial. 1 Dark Hole. If I had a Raigeki, that would be Raigeki, but I don't have one, so I have to play Dark Hole. And then my random tech for the evening was limiter removal. I actually did game somebody by limiter removing my Buster Dragon in damage step, because he had paid for a big Solemn Judgment earlier in the day, like usual. That's why I think this card's just really good right now. For the traps, 3 Torrential, really good in this deck because you can tag out your Buster, use its effect, banish a card, and you still get all your 3 pieces in the grave, get their effects. I was main decking 2 Anti-Spell. It wasn't as great as I thought it was. A lot of the times it actually hurt me more than it did my opponent. And going second, this card's just really, really not that good. 2 Strike, 1 Warning, or 1 Judgment and 1 Warning. Basic, the best traps you can play in this deck. And yeah, the main deck was really consistent. Opened up the combo with Fairy Dragon pretty consistently. If I didn't, cards in the extra deck were really helpful. For the extra deck, 1 Cleafort Genius and 1 Underclock Taker. There was random times where I didn't have, a machine, so I needed another guy. That's why I don't play 2 Genius. Decode Talker for the combo with Ancient Fairy Dragon. Gigan X. It's really good for unbreaking your hand, and it does happen a lot. Then Castel. Castel's still, in my opinion, really good. I'm still playing Tsukiyomi. I still think this card's really good. It can help you fix your hand sometimes, and it can just get you to your cards you need. Diamond Dire, this card's really good. You can pop it off your extra monster zone, get your pieces in the grave. Abyss Dweller, it was pretty good today. I did play one BA, and I didn't have to use a Pistoler because he kind of bricked, but yeah. Then the Utopia package, because it's just too good. Black Rose and Ancient Fairy Dragon for Destrudo targets. Black Rose never had to make it. Ancient Fairy Dragon made it a buttload today. And then 3 Buster Dragon, just, you know, really good. Then for the side deck, I was playing 3 Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. It's probably like my favorite card to side. Then for the targets, I was playing, of course, ABC Buster Dragon. I didn't have to play a mirror match today, but a lot of people do play ABCs in my locals. 1 Totally Awesome, 1 Spiral, and then I was playing my Electromite that I pulled because I still haven't sold it. I did play 1 Pendulum Magician, but I didn't draw into Reaper, so it never came up. So yeah, Totally Awesome. I did play against a Frog deck, so yeah. Then I was playing this Kaiju package because the Humongous I ordered still has not come, which is freaking annoying as hell. But it worked out pretty well, actually. I never drew the other Kaiju without having Slumber. There was one time I did have to throw Slumber to the grave with Buster Dragon. Then on my turn, I was able to get the Kaiju out, which, you know, that's kind of like a bad play, but it, you know, it happened. Then 1 Cosmic Cyclone, or the 3rd Cosmic Cyclone, the 3rd Anti-Spell, 3 Dimensional Barrier, because that card's just broke right now. And then last but not least, Imperial Order. So yeah, the deck, you know, it's nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing that you haven't seen before, but I really like this deck a lot. It's always been one of my favorite decks ever since I came back into play the game. And I was really glad that I had, you know, a decent side deck, even though I wasn't playing hand traps and stuff like that. Today, it didn't hurt me at all, because honestly, there was never a point where my opponent would make like an unbreakable board. First round, I played against, who did I play against? Oh, Pendulum Magicians in the first round. It was a pretty close match, but I didn't draw into my sideboard, which was kind of annoying. But Buster Drake was really clutch in that matchup. I banished so many of his scales, and he was kind of playing like an unorthodox build. Like, he was playing some of the bad Pendulum Magicians, but he did have Electromites. He did have, you know, all the other stuff from the deck, you know, like Firewall Dragon and Saruja. It's just in my locals, you know, people don't like playing I guess net decks, because they always try to add in their own spicy Texas, I guess is what you could say. But sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. And this was one of those cases where it was not so good. Second round, I played against, like a Red Eyes Black Dragon deck. But to be honest, he didn't really play any Red Eyes cards. So I'm not sure exactly if it was. He told me it was a Red Eyes deck. But he played like that Gear Free guy, and then he never got a fusion on me ever. It was pretty funny. Then man, third round, I played against Spirals. This guy's one of the better players at locals, and I was really glad that I had the Super Agent, because I freaking Ghost Ogred it away, and he just lost right there because he couldn't finish his unbreakable board. And I 2-0'd him, actually, which is the first time I've ever beaten him in like the 4 or 5 times we played, which was pretty cool. He's a really nice guy, but he's kind of cocky, I guess you could say. But who isn't, you know? Then the fourth round, I played against Lightsworns, and it's just like a random. Sorry if you can hear my dogs in the background; they're freaking annoying. It was like a really close matchup, but whatever. Then top 4, I think I would have played against Trickstars, but we decided just to split because it was already late. So yeah, guys, that's it for the tournament report / deck profile. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to go next week, but hopefully. Till next time, guys, it's your boy Ivan. See you guys later.